Hello everybody, this is Cyrus the Great. Today we'll be talking about the Owl House episode 6, Hootie's Moving Castle. The title is an obvious parody of Howl's Moving Castle. I've never seen that film. To tell you the truth, when I first saw the name of this episode, I legit thought it was going to reveal Hootie's backstory, or at least a portion of his backstory, because he's in the title. Who am I kidding? I can't get over how this show is over, and according to some people, Hootie never got a chance to shine. Actually, he does get his chances to shine, but not fully shine, if that makes sense. Although this episode doesn't reveal Hootie's backstory, it does reveal someone else's backstory, which we are about to discuss. We start off with Ida playing some sort of card game, Texas Hold'em, a reference to a poker variant known as Texas Hold'em.
Oh boy, cards! The paper rectangles that old people think are fun.
Yeah, you know what else is fun for old people? Not bringing snakes to the workplace.
Emotional damage!
After Ida wins, her curse gets worse. Say that 10 times fast. Her curse gets worse, her curse gets worse, her curse gets worse, her curse gets worse. Now, wait a minute. In episode 4, The Intruder, Idolin transformed into the Owl Beast like that. We didn't see her transform slowly by showing these things. Here, her transformation is slow. Is it supposed to indicate that it's getting worse? The Three Stooges went to the market to buy potions. Sadly, there are nothing in stock. Honestly, I don't know who to blame in this game. Should I blame the market for probably not doing a good enough job to have stock of elixirs? Or the consumer who wasted all of her time playing a poker game, eventually missing out on available stocks? They both deserve blame, I guess. Morton recommends buying elixirs from someone named Grimhammer, who works at the night market. Meanwhile, Velma and Gus crave for this thing called Moonlight Conjuring. Basically, it's a slumber party with a twist of bringing something to life. Okay? It's held once a year since the celestial powers align once a year. Amity invited everyone to a Moonlight Conjuring except them. So they invite Luz since animating something requires 3 guys. Gus is an illusionist. How about clone yourself? Then invite your clone to do the Moonlight Conjuring with you. Wait, what am I saying? That doesn't count. A clone doesn't count as a person because it's white. Yeah.
Sorry you couldn't get an invite to the Conjuring, Willow. Only real witches allowed.
Leave her alone. It's not her fault she was born without talent.
Now those kids are mean. They didn't even acknowledge Luz and Gus's presence. They plan on doing the Moonlight Conjuring at the Owl House even though Ida said no. Honestly, I don't blame Luz for going with it. I mean, we're talking about an event that happens once a year. Imagine missing out on this and having to wait for a whole year just to get your curiosity out of your system. I wholeheartedly understand her dilemma. Ida and King went out to find elixirs while Luz and her friends do it. I'm too lazy to rephrase that. They chose to animate an action figure, but accidentally end up animating the entire Owl House instead. That's pretty confusing. This only works for objects, right? The Owl House is not an object. It's a creature, a living creature. It's Hootie. The Owl House is Hootie, right? I'm gonna say it again. Hootie needs an origin story, damn it. I'm gonna try my best to explain this. I assume 3 things. Number 1, the Owl House is half object, half creature. Number 2, it is all her fault. She doesn't know the words, therefore it caused a malfunction. Number 3, Luz is not like them. This can only be performed by witches with magic bile sacs in their hearts. Wait, no. If that's the case, then they shouldn't even be able to animate the house. I don't understand this. I do understand this.
A real man never takes accountability!
That's true. That's why I'm a real man. Because I never actually took responsibility for beating someone up back in 7th grade. The Three Stooges were able to control the house by holding hands, which harnessed the moon's magic. Now that is something I can comprehend.
Hey, you! You know where I can find a Grimhammer?
I firmly believe that he was about to say something, but got rudely interrupted by him. Hence, he killed him. Anyways, Idolin managed to find Grimhammer, or should I say Tibbles? No, I prefer Grimhammer. It sounds badass, unlike Tibbles. I'm not a judgmental person, but Tibbles? Really? How could anyone choose such a pathetic name? I bet Tibbles doesn't even like his name. Imagine Tibbles introducing himself to a group of citizens. Hello, my name is Tibbles. They'll probably think it's some kind of joke. Just imagine the embarrassment. That name isn't doing him any favors in terms of having my respect at least. My advice is go to the local civil registry office. Come up with something less laughable, please. After all, nobody wants to explain to their friends why they're calling themselves Tibbles.
He wants to be called that.
Unfortunately, Idolin got scammed as the price for 1 elixir is 1,000 bucks. Well, now you know how your customers feel. Ida challenged him to play Texas Hold'em. She lost and got captured to be handed over to the police.
I've seen your wanted posters. I wonder how much the Emperor's Coven would pay me to hand you over.
Dude, you can literally see the reward money right there. Are you sure you've seen the wanted posters? Elsewhere, the Three Stooges pranked this girl named... What's her name? Basha? Another one from my victim list. Granted, she is a pretty girl with such an ugly name. It's almost as if the universe was playing some sick joke on her, deliberately setting her up for a lifetime of ridicule. I mean, who would take someone named Basha seriously? Poor thing must cringe every time she introduces herself to someone new. At least she's got those looks going for her. Maybe people will be too distracted by her beauty to notice her utterly ugly moniker. I'm kidding. Who cares if your name sounds silly? At the end of the day, it's just a name. It doesn't define who you are or what you can accomplish in life. Sure, there might be some teasing or joking around at first, but most people will eventually get over it and focus on getting to know you as a person. The important thing is embrace your uniqueness and not let anyone bring you down because of something as trivial as your name. No offense. Who knows, maybe having an unusual name will actually make you memorable and help you stand out in a good way. So don't sweat it. Just keep being yourself and prove that your name has nothing to do with how far you can go in life. Name yourself however you want. I don't see any point in judging you, unless you're named Basha or Tibbles. Anyway, Basha's personality and voice remind me a lot of Pacifica Northwest. In case you're wondering, no, they're not the same voice actress. The Three Stooges go after Amity next, after looking at Instagram.
Shout out to my fellow witches, #humans can bite it.
Wait, I thought Amity is cool with humans now, since the previous episode. Maybe she still has a grudge against her? As they go to Amity's house, a group of demon hunters ambush them.
Is that a giant crossbow?
It's called Ballista, dude. Aren't you from the human world? You forgot everything about the human world now? God damn it, Luz. You gotta go back, at least once a week.
Is this really what you want to be doing with your life? Tossing kids from cliffs?
Actually, yes. It's been my dream since I was a boy.
Yeah, you guys better be cool with that. That's who he is. Please don't punish him.
And nobody should be punished for who they are.
Before they die, Velma confesses her crime, and this is where we learn a small portion of her past. She and Amity used to be friends until Amity stopped hanging out with her after Amity got her powers. It's not important for every single story to have these sorts of things, but when it comes to making a story like The Owl House, revealing a character's backstory is one of the most important things to consider. It influences their present actions and motivations, allowing viewers to better understand their choices and behavior throughout the story. It helps to unveil their flaws, strengths, and overall personality traits. By diving into a character's past, audiences can sympathize or empathize with and relate to them on a deeper level, ultimately making the story more engaging and believable. Also, it adds depth to characters that may have initially come across as one-dimensional. It can help your dramatist personae evolve. Letting the cat out of the bag requires careful consideration and skillful execution. The most effective way to let out this information is through subtle cues, rather than overwhelming exposition. Small details such as expressions, gestures, actions, or short dialogues can hint at a character's history without breaking up the flow of the story. However, these things should always serve a purpose to the plot. It is crucial not to dump all relevant information in one scene, as it will lead to fatigue and detachment from your audience. That's how backstory should be done, and that's why I think the writers did a simple yet incredible job here. Her backstory deepens her character and serves a purpose in the episode's plot. It's all Velma's fault that they're in this mess. Might as well confess now while you still can. Partly it's also Luz's fault, but what about Gus? Putting aside the amazing execution, do I think her backstory is sad in general? No. At least not yet. It is unlike Amity. Amity's first backstory reveal is a lot more intelligible. This one is too vague, like, why would Amity stop hanging out with you just because her powers are better? I don't fully get it. That's okay though, because what really matters is, I'm interested. And this is only the beginning.
She stopped hanging out with me.
Guys, is now the best time?
Can we please appreciate how the writing understands both sides? On one hand, some people really want to know why Velma feels bad for doing this considering how excited she was. On the other hand, others like me think now is not really the best time for this. Now is the time to escape. You guys are literally about to fall to your doom. The Owl House has such good writing, I tell you what.
I tell you what.
The street can't hold us much longer.
There.
You know, the way she effortlessly freed her arm got me thinking, why couldn't she do it in the first place? Because she felt guilty. After many years, maybe not that many years, after many years of talking trash about a cartoon where nothing makes sense at this point, it's such a breath of fresh air to watch a cartoon where everything makes sense. Mostly everything makes sense. From the choices they make to the reasonings they confess, I love rational sense because it matters a lot. Making sense in TV shows determines the success or failure of a series. From a writing perspective, an actual good TV show that is character driven or story driven or a bit of both growth needs to have coherent storylines that are engaging and make logical sense, with characters that are consistent in their actions and motivations. Without these elements, viewers will lose interest. Moreover, a lack of coherence can lead to confusion about the underlying themes and messages of a show, which is problematic when attempting to convey complex issues or concepts. Making sense is essential for artistic integrity, including commercial viability in television production. Thus, showrunners must prioritize consistency in their storytelling if they hope to capture and maintain audience engagement over the long haul. Take notes, Miraculous Lady Slag. Speaking of Miraculous Lady Slag, it fascinates me that horrific cartoon is still ongoing. Why? It's complete balderdash now. Why is it still alive? Because the ratings are so good? Because the fandom is so strong? Are Homo sapiens really that stupid? Anyway, the Three Stooges were able to escape. Idolin also escaped, thanks to the Three Stooges breaking her free. A while ago, Idolin said she'll never trust Luz ever again if she messes up the owl house. So did she? No, she told them to clean the house and admitted the moonlight conjuring was awesome, willing to join next year. She's proud definitely because of the fact that she was saved by their moonlight conjuring. Imagine if she didn't save her from Grimhammer. Will Luz officially go back to the human world? Stop thinking about that, it's too early.
I can't believe they animated a whole house.
Yeah, you're right. That takes some powerful magic.
No, it merely takes 3 dudes to pull it off. You're just wrong when you said, oh, it's magic for babies. You're a baby. Before the episode ends, Boscha and her friends weren't able to move something. I think it's because the moon's magic chooses 1 object per year. Moonlight conjuring is first come first serve, right? Whatever. The episode concludes there. Hootie's moving hassle is an overall decent episode that doesn't really have any relevancy, except Velma's backstory establishment, Grimhammer's introduction, and Boscha's first speaking role. Those are the only things to remember here. The rest, while very entertaining, they have no point. Most importantly, Moonlight Conjuring. I admit it, it's pretty interesting. I like the concept of having a slumber party, then bringing something to life for fun or for the sake of it, but I was seriously having a hard time trying to explain how exactly this thing works. You know what? I'll give this a pass, because it doesn't matter. As far as I know, Moonlight Conjuring never happened again in this show. Hootie's Moving Hassle is the only episode of the Owl House that establishes Moonlight Conjuring. So, I'm sorry to break it to you, Ida. There will be no next year. What you said meant absolutely nothing, and I couldn't be any more emotionless because I don't care. But you want to know what does mean something?
I'll have my revenge.
I'm giving this episode a 6.9 out of 10. No pun intended. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really means a lot. You guys are the best. Episode 7 is for next time. Stay cool and stay safe.